All right, y'all, welcome to another episode of the Dickie and Donny Show presented by Business on Purpose. I'm your co-host, Dickie, here with your other co-host, Donny.
Hello.
And we have just a wonderful announcement for you today, notwithstanding that we're also wearing our matching BOP hoodies.
I'll stop you there. We're matching because we're a team. And how do you identify a team is primarily speaking uniform. You can
Mascots,
do,
colors.
yeah. You can do a lot of things in a matching uniform and get away with it. So,
And it was just like we both woke up this morning and knew today was the day to wear our BOP Peter Millar fancy soft hoodies.
yeah, they're great. They're great. We are allowed to wear them while coaching as long as we have a collar. So I am coaching fit, Dickie.
You just can't see the collar. It's hidden under here. So it's just,
Understood.
yeah, I'm
Understood.
just hiding
Copy
the
that.
collar. I don't have
Copy
a
that.
thick neck to bust out of
That's
this
hurtful.
hoodie.
That's hurtful.
No, that's
You know
thick.
I'm trying to unthicken my neck. You know
Dude,
that.
I love a good thick neck. Shows your muscle. You got some traps, you got some strength.
Dude, watch out, man. These traps will get you,
I
dude.
know they will. I know
They'll
they will.
get you.
So we told people a couple weeks ago that
Last
we were
week. This
last week.
last Friday.
There was
We
this last
record these
Friday.
weeks in advance. This last Friday, I think you were promised something.
You were promised. And so today we are announcing that Dickie and Donny have entered the small business
Arena.
ring.
We are here.
We are
Matching
here.
uniforms and all.
If I was sharp enough, I would have had my quote ready that it is not the critic who counts. It is the man in the arena. That's who, you know that Teddy Roosevelt quote? Oh
No.
gosh, I'm going to change your life in a second.
History was not really a thing growing up. Don't get me wrong. Very much a thing. But grow up in Indiana, like they talk about Larry Bird, and you're all locked in because you can imagine a human in French Lick, Indiana that got really good at a barn, playing basketball in a barn, and it's real. But then they're talking about the Revolutionary War. And those are places and people and things that, like Charleston, South Carolina, I probably would have argued was real. Like there's no history in Indiana. So history was and social studies and all that was really hard for me growing up because it was memorizing a whole list of facts that as a 8, 10, 14-year-old, really hard to see how they impacted my life. And I'm not arguing that like the wars and Revolutionary War, Civil War, and all that didn't have an impact across the rest of the country. I'm not arguing that. But for a little boy in Indiana, like reading about the Cold War did nothing to me. It was just memorizing facts for a test. So I will argue everything I learned about presidents falls into that too.
Didn't you teach history in high school?
No, I didn't.
No, you
Well,
didn't.
I taught the Bible, which in some ways you could
It's
argue
history, which
is
is
history. So if
ancient
it's in that
literature.
lane, but even that I didn't learn about till like I didn't fall in love with all that stuff till college. So,
So here's
anyways,
the quote. It is
hit me.
not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat.
This is very good. I have heard pieces of it, but like not all of it. But I'll tell you this, you and
Speech
I
at the Sorbonne.
have been in a cold state because we've been on the outside looking in. We're business coaches. Our whole industry is based on a cold state. And I'm not talking about Alaska. I'm talking about like we are pointing fingers lovingly. We are providing the path for those that have stumbled, but we have not ourselves, other than our owner, we have not stumbled because we have not been in the race. So to say that we are now in the arena is exciting. There's reverence involved. And I think we need to tell the people what we're doing. Like, how are we entering the arena?
So if you remember, we started talking about salaries and
Early in
Brandon,
October.
early October, and Brandon Donny said, what kind of business do we run? And I looked out my window I saw my lovely 8 by 16 shed that I had built with my own two hands, and I said, Dickie and Donny Sheds, and there lies the business name. Dickie and Donny.
because you don't have too much stuff. You don't have a stuff problem. You have a storage
You
problem.
have a storage
And
problem.
we're here to find a solution to your problem. And you don't get rid of your stuff. Have better space to organize your stuff. I told this to Dickie today when we were on the phone. You don't know you don't know someone who owns a 27,000 square foot house that says, I just have too much stuff. They got the space. So the stuff isn't the issue anymore. Let us create a 27,000 foot home environment around your
27,000 feet shed.
around your items. It's not going to be that. Trust, it doesn't even take that much. It doesn't even take that. 270 square feet would do. That's also a big shed, but it's going to feel bigger. So,
And maybe even this business. I mean, if I'm thinking about dreaming and vision, I would want to get into the self-storage space. So it's been my dream to own some self-storage facilities. So I think we could even build self-storage facilities, Dickie and Donny self-storage eventually.
yeah, and I think it's all around the Dickie and Donny Sheds brand,
That's
right?
right.
So there's the announcement. Now, we are also, to the best of our abilities, knowing that you're Dickie addicted to TikTok, me don't engage with it, but am enthralled by the idea, especially after talking to Trent with TrueCraft. Hey, y'all, let's
Right.
talk about it.
Talk about it.
Honda Element, right, of the world off marketplace. We are going to try to document the entire process of starting this business via TikTok, via these podcasts, whatever it is. But Dickie and Donnie Sheds, we are going to allow people to see the inside conversations of Dickie and Donnie Sheds. And even just a few minutes ago, Dickie and I were talking, and we're going to try to do this the way that we would coach it to be done, which
Right.
sounds obvious, but we've even caught ourselves with like, well, do we need a website? All the questions that we know people always ask of, man, let's go pay for a domain. Let's go pay for a logo to get made. Let's get some shirts and hats so that people know. And then let's just start selling. But that's
Mhm.
not how a business should be built. So we are not going to do it. We've intentionally cut off those conversations. So there's your announcement. What are we going to be talking about today, Dickie?
So, yeah, I think most people say, I'm going to start a business. What are you going to start? I'm going to open a website. I'm going to get logo, branding. Well, how do you deliver your product? I haven't thought about that. What's your process to develop and nurture
I don't know.
contacts,
I don't
leads?
have that.
Oh, I'm going to hire a marketing company to get me leads. They'll get me, 100 leads for $100, and I'm going to pay for leads. Okay. All right. Well, once they come in, what are you going to do? So what we're going to do is we're going to build a master process roadmap, and we're going to start the critical thought process of thinking through what does it take to build. What are you,
Theodore Roosevelt.
what?
It's just funny that it popped up to the quote. I don't
Well,
know
that's
why.
what
It was just
I ha-
funny.
that's what I was reading it from.
Yeah, no, it was just funny. I don't know.
So we need to identify our processes. How do we market? How do we tell the world we exist? How do we execute sales?
Mm,
How do we site prep, manufacture, and deliver? And so if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see our process roadmap. We've got a very, very fancy tool called Google Drawings, very high-end,
that's right.
sophisticated software we use. But yeah,
And I'll preface with this too. And I say preface, we preface a lot. Like this is us figuring it out. Like you are in the inside room. You are in the we're not an oval. What's another shape similar to an oval? It's not the Oval Office. What are we going to call it?
well, you've
The
got the
shed?
Oval Office, you've got the Pentagon, you've
What's
got the Octagon. The Octagon's the arena. The MMA arenas are octagons. Boxing ring, lots of geometric shapes.
let's see.
It's got to be
Thinking
a
of
rectangle. Enter the rectangle,
I think
enter
it
the
might be the
square,
shed. Is it the inner shed?
the inner shed. Sure.
We hate it. You hate it.
I don't love it. So
Okay.
let's
We're
look
we're
at,
letting you in because we don't know like what we have an idea just based on our pre-conversations of kind of what we anticipate manufacturing look like, but a lot of these conversations are not Dickie and I like having this all cleaned up to bring to you so you can see what it looks like. We think the value is having you watch us walk through it, right? Because we don't know. We have not talked about this more than what you're already, and some of these are just baked in and not real.
So
But
originally we had talked about drop shipping sheds. So in this
sure.
operations manufacturing side, this would be part of the drop shipping business where
Yeah.
we would prep the site, we would prep the site, they would deliver it, and then we would install it. So there's a three-part system to the operation: site prep, manufacturing, delivery.
Yeah.
And when I think about this, I want to think about the reason people go with Dickie and Donny is because it's so easy to work with us. They have a
So easy.
problem. They have a problem. I don't have enough storage. As the bike community says, how many bikes should you have? The answer is N plus one, where N equals the number of current bikes you have. So that maybe that could even be our logo, N plus one.
I like
So
it.
we need to have a process that helps make it really easy for you to buy more bikes. We're solving the problem, so you come to us and just know, man, Dickie and Donny gonna crush my storage needs. We can't live in a world where there's not enough storage. Like it pains us to live
Yeah.
in a world where you are tripping over your stuff.
And it'd be one thing if there wasn't room for storage, but I don't think we're finding ourselves with that problem. I think we have the room for storage. We just lack storage. I have room in my yard for a shed, and I have things, if I had a shed, I'd put into said shed. I have, and rather
What
we
would
clean
you
our
have in your
garage once
shed?
a month. So, in my opinion, and this is something we'd have to work through. Like, I have to worry almost primarily about humidity down here. Like, there are things that I probably would not be able to keep in my shed due to how hot and humid it gets without, some sort of temperature control or dehumidifier. So, I would put all of my outdoor tools, not the ones that demand a battery, I don't think, but I would put like all of my hand tools out there just to get them out of my garage. Those are hard to store neat and concise. You can store them neat, but it takes a lot of space, or you can store them concise and it's not very neat. So I would store a lot of those. I think I would also store anything if I could build the shelving correctly, I would store all like decorations or things that can be easily boxed in similar sized containers. I love containers and I
Mhm.
love ones that match. And we have a bunch of stuff in our garage to set up but it's still there's a lot in there to the point we don't park a car in our garage. I feel like it's pretty rare around here to do that, but if I could move a majority of that stuff to the shed, I would. Would probably leave some gas cans in there for like my mower and might even leave my mower in there. If I had gas power like my edger, my trimmer that are, still in gas powered, I would probably leave those out there. I would probably not leave any of my drills or anything like that that are battery powered. I'd keep those in my garage where it's a little bit more temperature controlled. So,
So
yeah,
what I
that's what
hear
I'd
is
do.
is in our third step of our sales system, lead comes in, I need a shed. We qualify them. Can we get what they need? And then they've got this site visit or needs assessment. I need to assess, okay, he wants to put gas cans, he wants to put these. I'm gonna suggest accessories, add-ons, benefits of our shed that would solve your needs. And so I need to think about not only how would we address that, but how do I train sales people to address those issues and help people get the right things, get the right racks and get the right storage containers. And okay, let me ask you a question. Do you have Christmas decorations? Where would you like to store those? Okay, want to store those at the top. Excellent.
Yeah. Because I think as we're even thinking through this, I don't think that would be too difficult if we're already in the process of manufacturing, of getting a little bit more personal information. Not like a custom house, but like, yeah, what are you hoping to do with your shed? And provide, okay, well, what we could do is you give me, or we could even provide buckets, or we could tell you, hey, we go to this website. Here's the ones we always recommend. They're this size, and we can build shelves that would support up to 16 of these. So we can, yeah, I think some sort of storage or personalization. Yeah.
So we've got in operations, we've got shed designs. We've got a folder for all of our designs. We've got storage racks and accessories, which are going to be
Yeah.
uh, where would we direct people to how they choose those process to get those added into their shed?
Yeah. I think in a lot of ways, I think we could gather all that through a simple form or like a selection options of, hey, give us all your ideal selections. We'll map it out knowing we're probably going to have anywhere from 2 to 5 build like options of types of sheds. That's just a thought. We haven't built that out yet. But with that, we could like almost get like the blueprints of an inside and say, hey, we could do this and this with it because we will, yeah, that's kind of my thought process behind it.
I love that. You know what? I'm even thinking, what if we had a way on our website to click in 2 minutes, we will design, build, set you up for the exact shed you need. All you need is you need 3 to 5 numbers, the size of space you have, the immediate needs, and what you have, and we'll make an immediate recommendation and give you a date that can
Yeah.
be delivered. I mean,
Yeah,
something
and
that's
even
so
even
easy.
draw it out almost of like, hey, what would you want to store in there? Give them an option. They put all that stuff, and we almost give them like a blueprint of what that could look like.
Hmm. So I'm gonna call Dickie and Donny sales questions. I'm gonna add this to our folder. What are those initial questions you're thinking about?
I mean, do we want to just start with what is your greatest need in storage right now? Like, I don't know.
What do you need to store?
Yeah,
Really?
how much? I mean, the things that are obvious are the size. About how much size are you anticipating? What objects are you thinking of storing?
So what size plat? What size is the ground
Square
room?
foot of storage?
What?
Like
Yeah. What
square
size
footage?
square
What?
footage do you, what size is your shed? Ideal shed footprint.
Yoru. Yesterday, I was on a ride with Sam looking at Halloween decorations, and he saw Baby Yoda, and he said, "Daddy, it's Baby Yoki." And I was like, "Why is that so much better than Yoda?"
Baby Yogi.
Baby Yoki, Yoki, Baby Yoki. And I said, "That is
Yoki.
amazing."
Kind of like low key Yoki. What do you need to store? What's your ideal shed footprint? What else do we want to ask? Do we want to offer drop downs and click as many as apply?
Yeah, that in my mind, that's exactly what we're doing. Yeah, is it's a drop down of like what items are you looking to store? Because some people like, what if it's a she shed? Right? Or someone wants almost an outdoor recreational shed rather than what I'm using it as, which would be your standard garden shed, right? For lack of a better phrase. Like, what would you want to have in it?
What's your
Um,
intended application? There we go.
Great, because that could give you,
She shed.
right, whatever it is. It's a she
Sweat
shed.
deck.
It's what are the different types of shed?
Sweat deck.
Sweat deck, absolutely. A workout
Outdoor
room,
equipment.
outdoor equipment. You could do an office. You could do an outdoor office and equip it for
Oh,
that.
He-Man office.
He-Man office. I love it.
Do you know who He-Man is?
My brother had the action figure.
Hmm.
I hated
That
action
is,
figures, but he loved them and he had a
dude,
He-Man one.
He-Man was the freaking awesome one. I used to watch some
Hmm.
serious He-Man growing up in
Did you?
Baltimore. Did you know I was from Baltimore?
Yeah, I did know that.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to White Marsh, White Marsh T-ball.
Shout out to White Marsh T-Ball. Okay. Yeah, I think what do you need to store? What's your intended app? And what do you need to store probably comes after that one
Oh,
of like what's
sure.
your application and what would you need to store?
Gotcha.
And then I think, can I teach you a new way to do what you just did?
No, but
Okay.
yes, go ahead.
Grab the number 4 on the left,
Here?
click it, grab it, and drag it down.
Oh, nice.
Little something,
Yep.
something for all you spreadsheet nerds. Yeah, we'd want to know that because I think on our end, this is the information we would need, which is probably where to back. We would need to know what size. I've seen sheds that have like little front porches, which would allude to like, what is this going to be for you? If it's a little office, you might want a little chair on the front to get some fresh air. You would want to know like, are we trying to put a mini split in this thing? Do we want a window unit, or do we need a windows in this? Are you hoping for any light? Do we need to run electricity to it? Those are all the things we would need to know for site prep and stuff like that. Because the whole point of this is not your value shed. We will make it as easy as possible. It is a quick engagement. We get everything we need. We map it out. We get it shipped, brought over, and installed excellently. And it's exactly what you wanted. So we need to know some stuff for all that.
So I have a question. Where are we operating as Dickie and Donny? Because Dickie and Donny sheds, if this requires on-site supervision, there's labor, there's operating expenses we're going to have to pay for people to be on site. I assume we're going to have to limit our geography
To
at getting
start
going.
100%. I think we need a small target and then we will clean up and fine tune the process to where we could then go and say, hey, if you're a college student and you want to work for Dickie and Donny Sheds and go sell sheds in your college area, we're going to have it fully mapped out for what you need to do for the training of what you need to look at. You need to meet the guy here that's pouring the concrete. You need to meet with the homeowner here. But we need to almost start that.
Yeah, so the site prep, we need to train people. How do you do permitting? How do you assess like the ability for us to is it sloped? Is it not sloped? Do we need to dig out?
Grading.
Do
Yeah, grading,
footings,
all that
grading,
stuff. Yeah.
grading and land
Um,
assessment? How do we train people to know if sheds will fit or they won't fit?
yeah, I would think some aspect of site prep would be any HOA or ARB requirements around here. That'd be huge. Like if I were to put a shed in my yard, it'd be a hassle because I'd have to go through the ARB. Actually, it's the ARC here, but it's all the same.
ARC, there you go. Yeah.
Architectural Review Committee.
Mm-hmm. HOA, ARC requirements, that's great. There's those footings they make now that are just concrete blocks. So instead of
Yep,
having to dig footings, we could just use those, if you level it most, and then you can even pull your 4x4, your 6x6 post from that and level
correct.
off of that. So it may be that we could, use some ready-made foundation solutions.
Yeah, I think for the standard product, that's what it would be. I think if you were to get a giant shed, then like, okay, well, based on your size, we need a different size of footing. I would think somewhere on here, let's say someone wanted a Bluffton shed right now. I would
Mhm.
have no intention, and I don't think you would either, of like me going and actually pouring the concrete or doing that. Like, I think we're outsourcing that stuff. We just manage the process. So, do we need a list of like contractors? Could you argue a handyman could do it? Like, do we need a list of subcontractors we would be using in different areas?
The way I see this working, and you tell me if this works, do you know what TaskRabbit is?
Yes. Not super familiar, but yes, I've
But
heard
it's
of
like,
TaskRabbit.
okay, I've got this IKEA shelf and I'll pay you $50 to come put it together. So I hate putting together IKEA. We would use some sort of TaskRabbit or handyman service, and we'd have an assessment for how we assess Dickie and Donny handymen. And then
Yep.
we would have the process all built out. So it's kind of like a franchise a little bit,
Yeah,
where
you just use this. You
here's
just
our entire
use this.
process of
Yeah.
how we grade, footing, deliver, build this. And then they would have all that ready to go. They know their exact tools, they know their exact materials they need to provide. We cover those
Yeah.
expenses.
We could even get it to where the contractor answers just three or four questions and that bases the price to where it's not just whatever contractor A and contractor B are charging for it. You could maybe do that. But if it's like, hey, what's your price of your, 2x4? And we get a big spreadsheet that says, well, because it's going to be different. And when I went to visit Wisconsin, the prices there about everything were very different than what they are here in Bluffton, South Carolina. So could we even get like, hey, what's, for a cubic yard of concrete and for this of lumber. And, we get a few of those things and say, based on where you're at, this is what it would cost you to do this. We know that if you follow our process, this is a 4 hours of labor. So great with whatever it would be. Do we just, I guess we're getting very into the weeds. So it's
I
probably, I
think
guess
we're
that's what we're
I
doing.
think we're going to need a project manager, a supervisor in every city. So we would train them on their price sheets, to train them on their
Yeah.
materials, and then we can't be in every city delivering Dickie and Donny sheds, but we can train up supervisors or project
Yeah.
managers that would
Yeah.
oversee, and they could do a shed a day or something like
And
that.
they could still go sell. Like if that we get some sort of, hey, for everything you sell, you get this on it. Absolutely. It's going to start with you and me, but
Mhm.
yeah, I like it. So for site prep, let's stick there real quick. Permitting, great. I think for now that's probably good. We will find the first time we do it, we'll add 28 to that list. But for now,
Permitting,
um,
grading, land
what
assessment.
about the homeowner? Is there anything like the homeowner's desires of where they put it? Like, do you have to do a meetup on site prep? Is there a client walkthrough or something like that? Customer walkthrough, whatever it is.
What would be a unique way to engage our customer, make the process fun, that, you show up on site, everybody's excited? What would be something unique to us where, your average big box store is not going to do? They're just going to show up with some crappy 2x3s and some, quarter-inch crappy OSB. But we're
I have
showing
two
up with,
thoughts.
okay,
One, we mandate that it's a lunch meeting and we bring them lunch. Like it's just a little thing, but it's like, hey, meet me for lunch, and I'm pick up a local lunch spot in your town. But do we do something like that where it's like,
Right.
hey, our PMs or whoever it is, our supervisor, we're literally bringing you lunch to like chat through this because you don't have a stuff problem, you have a storage problem, and we leverage that across the way. Yeah, no, we have our own trash can because storage is not the problem for us, like it is for you, whatever it is. There's a big investment here. Do we literally get an inflatable shed and like inflate it and then can therefore walk it and the giant blower around their yard? Does this look good? Is
Oh
this where
my
you want it? Like
gosh.
something like that.
Inflatable shed. Oh my gosh.
You
This
know what
is
I'm saying?
freaking brilliant. We'd have to have like multiple sizes, but I mean, my wife needs to see stuff. Like I see it in my mind.
Well, I'm the same boat. Yeah, like look, dude, this is here. I'll put this in the chat and you can bring it up. Like this is not what we would do. But you can see a little bit of what I'm thinking. I think this is actually one of our products, what I just sent you. But like, do we get some sort of that thing is sick. Wait, you can
Dude,
get that for $1,300?
it's 685, bro.
No, look down to the right, the one that's outside in the dark with the pumpkins. That one right there. Look how sick that thing is.
Dude, we might be going out of business real quick because I
No, we're
wait
not
for
going out of business. This shows that we have a freaking passion with how excited we just got.
Yes.
So, but kind of what I'm thinking of like, or do we start with like bring up, hey, here's a 10 foot by 10 foot canopy tent, and we're just going to set it up so you can kind of see what it looks like. And do we bring a couple of
That's
those
great. Little
so they
pop-up.
can see like a 10 by 20 canopy? Those are
Yeah.
$90 at Dick's. You just go get a couple of them and you just take those, say, hey, let's set this up. Is this about the angle you're hoping for? We mark it with you put a little spray paint in their yard, you put the little flags, and that's the cue for the guy to come in and say, hey, here's your corners.
Mhm. This is great. This is great. I'm even trying to think of how to process this. I want to get all this written down. So I think you're saying all these great things, but I like this is a typical business owner. Just start talking. Oh yeah, we do this and this and this, and it's
Well,
all in their head.
the
They
good
never
news
write
is
it
that
down.
we can ask for this recording and I can throw this recording into my plot and have it pull all the details that are I could even give it an example of a master process roadmap and have it create it for us, at least the like relative. So, and that's another note, like we're still business coaches. Like we don't want to see what Dickie and I are doing. We're not using AI to create this. What we're going to do is we're going to have AI clean up all of the thoughts we are giving out of our creativity, right? We could have very easily said, what are all the site prep elements needed for Dickie
Totally.
and Don? Look at that thing.
Did you make this?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Did Dickie Bot make this?
No, but I
Hmm.
did. I gave it our logo and I said, in this color scheme, create a Dickie and Donny logo that reads D&D plus one. And I had it edited a few times, but it's something.
So I just want, if you're on YouTube, I want you to look at this and I want you to see that we are thinking through how do we tell the world we exist? How do we execute contracts? How do we build loyalty with customers? How do we creatively engage them? How are we actually delivering on what we said we're going to do? So instead of being a fly by night shed operator, we're really committed to a clean, easy process. So most businesses don't have something like this where their whole business is on a sheet of paper. So
Right.
say we got tired of operating Dickie and Donny, want to go sell Dickie and Donny sheds one day. Well, what are we selling if it's in our head? We're not selling anything. But if we
Correct.
build this, well, we've got a business to sell, not just a job to sell.
Right. And what have we not done? We've not created a website URL. We've not spent money on a fancy logo, although that thing's sick. I don't know if I love it, but I think the D&D plus one could be like the logo.
We'll be your plus one.
We will, oh, yeah,
Mm.
I'll be your plus one down the aisle of shed ship. Anyways, we've not created a product. We don't even have a product yet. We are not going out and selling a product. We're not doing any of that yet. As much as like, if we're being honest, that's what we want to get to. Like, would I love to like actually be talking to a manufacturer and building out like sheds and starting to actually build the forms to get this answer stuff answered and all that?
And you need websites. We need
Yeah,
marketing.
all necessary. We're
I
just not
called one of
starting
my
there.
yeah, I called one of my lumber suppliers and said, "Hey, he's an old client." I said, "Hey, do you know anybody that manufactures sheds? Where would I even find that?" So
Yeah,
we are doing things like that. It's just not the only thing you're doing. You want to build
right.
a process.
Right. And we're going to try to document every step so you can see a general flow, but also you're also going to get to know Dickie and I real well in this, even today. Like We tried FaceTiming each other and recording it for a TikTok account, and the recording didn't have audio. And if you're like, well, this is how you
It
get
did
out,
not.
no, we tried that. It didn't work. There's something going on with FaceTime and that. So
How does that look? A little dark blue marketing there to match the color on the logo.
I like it. Can you make
Make sales orange.
or operations? One of them, yeah.
Well, I like sales
I
in
like
green.
operate. Okay, maybe admin then.
I've always liked the
Are
sales to
you
be
doing a
green. Oh,
custom?
what is happening
That's not
there?
it, brother.
That would not be it. Fill color.
Oh, it's right there to the left. Do you know the color? Do you have it memorized?
No, I just did that little. You see what I did there? You
No.
can click that little thing here, pick a
See,
custom
when you
color,
do that, yeah, and then
and
what?
then you can choose. It'll choose the color based on some other logo.
Oh, I don't see. When you click that, your screen, like nothing shows up on your screen, so you can't.
Oh, so you click that little thing, that little
Uh-huh.
eyedropper, and you can pick a color anywhere on the screen, and it'll match it.
Oh my gosh, that is a time saver on my
It's
end.
so fun. Look at all the stuff we're learning together on how to
This is
use.
great. Do we have our mission statement
Well, the
yet?
mission statement to me was you don't have a stuff problem, you have a storage problem.
So we exist to, you don't have a,
We exist to liberate you from your storage problem
we
nightmares.
exist to solve your storage problems by giving you storage solutions. Or
Hmm.
I don't even think we need the we exist. I think it's a, you don't have a stuff problem, you have a storage problem.
Yeah.
D&D plus one. I love it. Okay,
Hey, great work today.
that's
This,
raw.
we should go
That's
back to
raw and uncut.
our day jobs and join this next coaches meeting. But
The next marketing
hey,
and sales meeting we're about to go to.
no, it's coaches first, right? And then we do marketing and sales.
No, is it? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're
Aren't
right.
you like the owner of the company? I mean, don't you like run this thing or what?
What can I say? Can you stop sharing your screen so they can see us for the end of this thing?
Sure can.
By the time this comes out, we're going to have a TikTok account
Very soon.
and we're going to have some stuff. We're going to have to figure out how to get our little one-off conversations recorded because there's gold there. But to recap today, you're starting a business or you need a business. The typical steps would be get a product and sell the mess out of it and just start making money and figure out the rest at the end. We are going to intentionally do the opposite. We are going to start with what's our entire process going to look like, and then let's go find our product, and then let's figure out how to market that product according to the processes so that we can run the process the way we identified it, the way we want it to be run. And we're going to have y'all come along for the ride and see what happens.
Love it. Well, and you know what I love about this is most people go to the product, and then if they get too far in and they've spent all this time designing a product that the world doesn't want, they think, oh, shoot, I've wasted my time. If you build the process, of how we engage customers, say sheds suck, say nobody wants sheds. I mean, I can't imagine that's true, but say nobody likes sheds.
Yeah,
We pivot right into self-storage. We pivot right into something else because we've already built a process to engage
yeah,
people that's meaningful and
yeah.
attentive. So,
And the
um,
mission is still the mission. People are still don't have a stuff problem. They have a storage problem.
storage problem.
So that's what we're here to solve is your storage
Great work
problems.
today, Donnie. Really,
This was
really,
great.
really good working with
This
you.
was good. I'm excited for this journey.
Well, if you have questions about Dickie and Donny sheds, if you have questions about how to build a business that can run and grow with or without you, if you have questions about process, values, people, we do all that. We are the Swiss Army knife
Of business
of
coaches.
business coaches, but
People,
we're real
purpose,
sharp.
process, and profit. Those are the four things we build out to liberate you from chaos. You can go to mybusinessonpurpose.com or I think just
Business.
businessonpurpose.com. You can
On
reach out to
purpose.
Dickie and I. Dickie's name is Shawn, Shawn. Mine is Brandon, standard spelling at businessonpurpose.com. If you have any questions, we would love to work through it if you're a business owner. We work with business owners all over the country. We love what we get to do. That's why we're doing Dickie and Donny. That's why this stupid idea came to fruition. And out of that came the next leading business in shed sales. So no more driving down the highway and seeing that shed on the side of the street saying, "Do you want one of me?" Because what that doesn't do is that doesn't reveal your true problem of having a storage problem. Sheds aren't cool just to be cool. Sheds are cool because of what they can offer you, which is liberation from stuff,
Liberation from stuff.
liberation from clutter.
Excellent.
Yes.
Great work, Donnie. Peace.